Can you believe it is 4 years since we had the fight to get the greyhound industry back, one that we fought very hard on this show. Lonely voice at first, but it was us and Ray Hadley, the Daily Telegraph, and eventually Sanity had to break through because we cared about normal people being able to do what they love. And if you follow the rules, then you should be able to continue doing that, right? Well, the greyhound industry has, flourished in many ways since, but also the people who run the greyhound industry have got some really nice ideas about what to do with a dog when it comes to the end of its racing life. Tony Mastrion is the CEO of Greyhound Racing New South Wales. We had a chance to talk to him a bit earlier today.
It's a great experience, the dogs, definitely on a Saturday night, Paul, but we're absolutely booming. Greyhound Racing New South Wales and the industry is flying. 2019-20 has been our best year on record. We've done our highest rehoming figure ever, up 83% to over 1,300 dogs. We've seen an increase in prize money over the last 2 years, up 30%. We've seen wagering go through the roof at 285 million increase to 1.78 billion, and this year we look like increasing that to over $2 billion, and we made a $6.9 million profit last financial year, which we want to invest in our welfare. And I know it's a rival network, but we did our first free-to-air deal on Channel 9 after the preliminary semi-final for the $1 Million Chase next week, and it's probably the biggest announcement we've had, so it really shows the industry is back.
Mate, I love this. It'll be the third TAB $1 Million Chase. It'll be coming up in a couple of weeks. Watch it on Channel 9. I'll be watching it as well. Don't worry, you can watch Channel 9 through your Foxtel subscription as well. See? Keep everyone happy there, Tony. Now,
thank you.
Let's talk about... I'm saving both of us here. Now, let's talk here about greyhounds as pets. It's a program which you guys have been running for quite some time, but you just talked about some of the success of all of this. What are the types of homes and how is it changing since the program started?
It's hugely changed. I mean, we've seen Tim Cahill come on as the GAP ambassador, the Socceroo legend. Tim has lifted the profile awareness of the program. Look, the dog is a really misunderstood. It's a placid dog. We call it the 60-kilometre-an-hour couch potato. So it is really for any home and needs little exercise, short hair, really easy to look after. It'd rather curl up next to you than actually go to the park for a run. So the dog is a beautiful dog. We've done huge numbers last financial year, but even into this financial year now, we've seen a real spike in the popularity of the dog. So it's really resonating out there. I'm sure you see it, Paul, in parks all over Sydney and in Western Sydney, people having greyhounds. So we really have to concentrate on welfare of the dog. We obviously want to have the life cycle from racing to rehoming. That's really important, and we need to rehome all of our dogs.
And that's the thing. I mean, we've now been able to show a clear path from the racing life of the dog to the majority of its life, which of course is going to be post-racing. That's so vital because I've always believed this, which is that the people that are truly, personally, all invested in the sports side of it, well, they are willing to give up things in their own life to make sure these dogs are taken care of. And that basically means they want them to go to people who will pretty much do the same post-racing life.
Yeah, correct. And the participants do love their dogs. I mean, the industry closed 4 years ago and there was a line drawn in the sand that it wasn't good enough. And we all agree with that, Paul. But the people we didn't want in the industry, they're gone now. And the integrity is extremely important, but also the welfare of the dogs. And they do love their animals. And that story needs to get out there. Look, Greyhound Racing New South Wales has welfare at the forefront of everything we do. And we want to make the industry better, and so do the participants. Paul, we've just invested in a farm stay in the Hunter Valley where all dogs can go at the end of their racing life, and it's all about looking after the dogs when they're finishing on that life cycle of racing to rehoming. We need to get more farm stays, we need more money to go into welfare, and that's the mantra of Racing New South Wales. We understand the sport and the industry, but it's more important after racing that we place our dogs appropriately. By the way, Paul, that farm stay, if the dogs can't be rehomed, they live there for the rest of their lives. So we really really want to go to that point of unnecessary zero euthanasia, and the dogs won't be put down or euthanized. So I think that's a really important message from Greyhound Racing New South Wales and the industry, that the dog will live the rest of its life in a beautiful setting.
Yeah, bloody oath. Now, if people want to reach out and get one of these things, investigate whether it's the right thing for them to do, Greyhound Racing New South Wales website, or have you got specialised things that people should know about tonight?
Yeah, sure. You just need to go to our GAP New South Wales program. It's on our webpage. It's really important that people do rehome the dogs. They are in big demand, but you just need to get in touch and they'll fit the appropriate dog with the family, because different families have more appropriate living situations, so we just want to make sure we put the dog with the appropriate person.
All right, just finally, how did you keep the greyhound racing sector going in the time of COVID? No crowds is one thing, but also crossing state borders and country versus city borders, all of those little things that you've had to deal with. Are you glad that 2020 is almost over?
Oh, Paul, look, in March it was desperate times. We were the first jurisdiction to go to a regional model. We closed down Wentworth Park, which was a huge call. The participants have been unbelievable. They've played their part. They've stuck to all the protocols. Also, our Minister Kevin Anderson has been hugely supportive of the industry, and we were able to then go from a period of difficulty to a period of record numbers in regard to wagering. It's really gone through the roof during this COVID period. And I suppose that leads into, we've got an RDA, Paul, and you'll know well about this, which is a racing distribution agreement where we're stuck into 13%, but our market share is 21%. So we really need to get our fair share, and we're looking for government to assist us in that so we can point to our welfare. So that's important as well. We're getting our returns. We're putting in, obviously, wagering partners and government earn a lot of money out of us, but we just want our equal share and a fair go.